And we're back with a groundbreaking new study that could give those living with Alzheimer's new hope. The disease affects so many people, more than 7 million Americans and their families, and that is projected to nearly double over the next 25 years. Nearly 2/3 of Americans with Alzheimer's are women.
And for more than a century, it's pretty much been considered irreversible. But this new study just out says that may not necessarily be the case. Researchers have successfully reversed advanced Alzheimer's in mice. This study is from University Hospitals, Case Western Reserve, and the Cleveland VA. And joining us to talk about it is Dr. Donna Wilcock with the IU Health Neuroscience Institute. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
So the lead author of this study says they developed a compound in the lab that was basically able to stop and even reverse cognitive decline in mice with Alzheimer's. So how significant is that, do you think?
So it is significant. I don't want to take away any value from the study. I do think it's a great study, very thorough. What they did was they used a compound that increases a specific molecule that the body normally makes called NAD, and it increases NAD levels without making them too high, because we know too much is also not good for you, right? And so it's a compound that regulates that. It helps a lot with metabolism. So it helps keep blood vessels healthy. It helps the cells make the appropriate amount of energy, which we know in Alzheimer's disease, those nerve cells in the brain, they are not effectively making and using their energy when the brain is sick. And so I think their findings are very significant in that they do see that these mice are genetically engineered to have some characteristics of Alzheimer's, not everything. So in those mice, they did see that they had behavioral improvement. They had some diminishing loss of nerve cells. But one of the challenges with a lot of our mouse models is that they don't really get a lot of nerve cell death the way that humans do.
Yeah, that's an important point. Obviously, it's a leap, right? Yeah. To go from mice to people.
Yeah, I mean, how much of a stretch is to think that it could possibly work on us?
Yeah, so what we've learned over the years with many different trials, because what I will say is we have cured Alzheimer's is what we like to call it. We have cured that so many times in the lab with different things. This is a new thing and it has a lot of potential, and I think it gives us insights into mechanisms of disease. But the problem is that we know that in humans with the disease, that disease is building up in the brain and those nerve cells are dying 15, 20, maybe even 30 years before you see any kind of symptom in the patient. By the time you see symptoms, that disease is already very, very progressed. And so it's a stretch to say that we think anything at that point will actually reverse the damage that's been done. And so I think what this may point to is another strategy that we may be able to have in our arsenal to keep the brain healthy and prevent that progression. But once someone has symptoms, it's very hard to reverse that damage.
Okay, all right. We are out of time, unfortunately, but I imagine any step in the right direction with science is certainly a good step.
Absolutely, absolutely. We always have hope, yes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.